Hi there, Sandy here. Welcome to another video at my YouTube channel and my blog. Today I'm going to show you how to use polymer clay to make these sparkly, colorful beads and make them into a bracelet. So for a complete list of all the materials and supplies that you'll need to make this bracelet, you can check out the blog post link in the description box below or up here. You can click on that link. So the very first thing that you will need for this bracelet is actually to get the chain that you're going to use to hold it all together. And what I have here is some short long chain or long short chain, and all it is, you can see the links are longer ones connected by shorter ones. And this is helpful. You don't have to have this, but it's helpful for putting your bracelet together. And what you want to do is measure the length of your longer ones. So I've got a pair of calipers here, and I can see that it's about 9 millimeters. So I want to be sure that my beads are 9 millimeters or less. I'm going to make them somewhere around 7 millimeters. That'll be a good size, plenty of space in between them. So once you've determined that, you can get your clay. And what I have here is a half a package, 1 ounce of translucent clay. And then for some sparkle, I am going to use gold leaf and add that to the clay. This is a nice product. It's called Simple Leaf, because unlike other gold leaf, which is floaty and sticks all over the place and is really hard to handle, they've managed to get this clay attached to backing sheets that just makes it a lot easier to manage. And so you can just pull out one of the sheets and then put that right on your clay. And then just burnish it, rub it in with your fingers. I'm using a bone folding tool just to kind of rub it on. You don't have to get it on there perfectly. We're just going to mix this in. But just like that. So once you have that on your clay, just take your clay blade and cut it into 4 pieces. And next we're going to color our pieces with alcohol inks. And what I've chosen are 3 colors that are fairly near each other on the color wheel so that they'll blend nicely and not make mud. But you can do it however you like. And I'm going to put a single drop of each color, and that's plenty to color this amount of clay. I'm going to use the bottle cap to kind of spread it out, because what we want is for the alcohol to evaporate completely before we start mixing this into the clay. If you don't allow the alcohol to evaporate away completely, you can have bubbling as the alcohol gets mixed in, and then when it bakes, it can cause problems. And we're going to leave one of these without color, and that will just provide some contrast. So once you're sure that your alcohol ink is completely evaporated, you can start mixing this. You can use your fingers or a pasta machine if you have one. So you'll be mixing in the gold leaf as well as the ink color. So now I've mixed in all my colors in gold leaf and rolled each piece into a log. So now I want a set of beads in a nice mix of these colors. So what I'm going to do is cut each of my logs into 4 pieces. And then I'm going to put them together. I'm going to put a green and a pink, and a blue and a pink, it's actually purple, and a blue and a green, and then one of each with one of the plain ones, and then these 4 together. And then just roll each one out into a bit of a longer log. I squish them together and then start twisting. Fold it in half, twist again, and then roll the whole thing into a nice smooth ball. And make sure it's smooth so that everything is all melded together. So you'll end up with 6 smaller balls and then one that's twice as big. So now I have my assorted colors mixed and marbled, and you're going to roll each of them out into a log to begin to form your beads. I'm going to make my beads about 7 millimeters wide, as I mentioned, and about 1 inch long each. So each of these smaller balls I'm going to roll into a 3-inch long snake. And a good tool for using that is one of these. It's just an acrylic block used by stampers to mount acrylic stamps, cling stamps, and what we can do is use this to make sure that the snake is uniform in diameter. Now if you press too hard, you're going to end up making it oval, so just a light touch is good here, and lift up every so often to kind of unstick it. And then just keep rolling until it's about 3 inches long. You can kind of tap the ends on your flat work surface to flatten them out. And you can stretch it. If you've rolled it too long, you can compress it a little. Just cut straight down, make nice straight cuts. Now these cut edges, just gently roll your finger along them to soften them a little bit. And then to make the hole in each of your beads, what I like to use is a doll needle, because it's very long, obviously. It's hard, so it's not going to flex, and it's fairly fine. Stand the bead up on the board first and insert the needle, and then just press straight down. Pick it up, check where the needle's coming out on the other side, and if it's not centered, just pull it down and adjust until it is. And you'll see that doing that action compressed your bead a little, but that's okay. Just put the whole thing back on your work surface and roll, and that will straighten it out and also bring it back to the length you want it to be. Straighten out your ends a little bit. Don't press too hard here or you'll end up really distorting the shape on the inside. And then repeat to make all of your beads. This larger ball you'll roll into a 6-inch length because it had twice as much clay to begin with. Alright, so here they are all made. By the way, that 1 ounce, half a package of translucent clay makes about 2 dozen beads, which is nice because our bracelet uses around 14, so you'll be able to pick out your favorites and leave behind the ones you don't love so much. So now it's time to bake them. And what I like to bake beads in is just a piece of cardstock that I've accordion folded in like 1/2-inch folds. And what's good about this is you can put them in there and also make sure they're straight and not curved. And you just pop them in the folds. And because they're on paper, they won't get any shiny spots or flat spots as they're baking. And then bake them at the manufacturer's recommended temperature. I'm going to bake these for an hour because I want to be sure they're good and strong. So here are a bunch of my beads come out of the oven. You can see that the colors don't always come out quite the way you expect. Some brands of translucent clay have a bit of a yellowing effect. So it's good to do a test sample before you commit to anything. Try several colors and see which ones come out the way you'd like them. So these are my favorite beads that I pulled out from the mix, and now it's time to assemble our bracelet. So the first thing you want to do is measure out a length of your even odd chain to the length that you need a bracelet to be. And then on one of the larger links, add a small jump ring and your clasp. And then fold the chain back over on itself. And now we're going to use a bunch of eye pins to put our piece together. So onto an eye pin, slide a small bead, like one of these 3mm beads, and then slide it through one of the small links of your chain, one of your beads, and then the corresponding small link on the other side. And make sure this part has the same number of links on top and bottom. Add another small bead, and then use a looping tool or round nose pliers to make a loop. And then repeat, putting a bead into every pair of small loops along your chain until your bracelet is about 1 inch short from the length you want it to be. So there it is, all strung. A couple tips for while you're stringing your beads onto the chain. First of all, keep straightening the chain and making sure that it's not twisted. And also, when you make your selection of beads, try to find all ones that are pretty much the same length. That will make it easier. So now the last step is that you should have, on the very shortest chain here, you should have 2 of your long links and 1 of your short ones. And you're just going to take a little jump ring and attach the second long one to the second long one on the other side. And that will make it match the look of the first side where we have the clasp. And then whatever excess chain length you have, just trim it off, leaving about an inch and a half. And that will allow it to be adjustable. And there you are, your bracelet is done. This is actually a very comfortable bracelet to wear. If you don't feel like making your own polymer clay beads, you can of course just buy barrel beads, but it's a lot of fun to make your own. And if you want, you could even polish and buff these to a really glossy shine and make them look like gemstones. So here's another look at the bracelet we made today. There are so many variations possible. You can use all different colors of leaf, silver, copper, whatever you can find. Experiment with different colors of inks and paints and inclusions, and have fun creating not just the bracelet, but also the beads. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you'll see more like it. Also give it a thumbs up and share, and check out the other 2 videos up on the screen. You can follow me on Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, and on my blog. Happy creating. Bye-bye.